You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode number 197.1, our daily update on high school, college, and professional sports news in Central Indiana, with a little bit of major national sports news, anything that may be of interest to Central Indiana sports fans.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report, thank you so much for making us part of your day. Today is March 7, 2025. It's a Friday. So it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, and I love Central Indiana sports. Coming to you today from Madison Grant High School. Producer Susie is in the control room and headquarters in Jeffersonville. Coming up, we have Pacers results, Big Ten women's tournament results, including IU against Oregon, and Indiana Wesleyan softball, and we look ahead to a very busy Friday. But first, I'm going to beg you once again, go, please, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You will not regret it. We will have our boys basketball semifinal scoreboard for you and a full report from the sectional at Frankton. Those will both be published Saturday. Earlier Friday, we released our preview of the boys basketball sectional semifinals and Hanson Crafton's combat sports report. He previewed UFC 303. Go check that out. The Pacers were without Tyrese Halliburton and Benedict Mathurin Thursday in Atlanta. They played well for most of the night without them, particularly Pascal Siakam. But the Hawks were better in the fourth quarter and down the stretch in a 124-118 victory. The Pacers led 66-56 early in the third quarter before Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, former Pacer George Niang, and Onyeka Okongwu led the comeback to boost Atlanta's playoff chances. The Pacers are now 35-26 and play the Hawks in Atlanta again Saturday evening. Siakam had a game-high 35 points on just 18 field goal attempts. He was 12 for 18 overall, 3 for 5 behind the arc, and had 9 rebounds and 3 assists in the loss. Aaron Nesmith finished with 21. Andrew Nembhard in Halliburton's stead had 15 points and 10 assists. And TJ McConnell was brilliant off the bench as usual with 9.6 assists and 2 steals in 26 minutes. The Pacers are now 5th in the East, a game behind Milwaukee for 4th, and a game ahead of Detroit for 6th. Doesn't appear the Pacers have any fear of falling out of the top 6 and clinching a playoff spot. Miami is 6 games behind the Pacers in 7th place. Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle said Atlanta's ability to score inside on the Pacers was the difference.
Well, we gave up 74 paint points in the game, and I think that's the most compelling stat from this. You know, a lot of the other stats look pretty even, but the paint points are a big problem. And, you know, down the stretch, you know, we're fouling down the stretch. That contributes to some of the points in the last quarter. We got to fight harder, you know, from start to finish. I mean, we had some good stretches, but too many lags.
At the Big Ten's women tournament at the Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis, IU advanced to the quarterfinals with an impressive and important 76-64 win over Oregon in the second round of the tournament. We had a full report on that one with Michelle Garman. Please go find that one. We released that about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The Hoosiers will play number 2 USC at noon Friday. Actually started in the quarterfinal round. They're now 19-11 on the season. IU outscored the Ducks 23-11 in the first quarter, and when Oregon made a run to get within 51-53 with just under 8 minutes left, the Hoosiers scored 13 straight points to clinch the win. Again, big win for Terry Morin's crew.
Did a lot of really good things today. Really happy for our group. This is, like I said, it's not very often that you have an opportunity to get a do-over. And, for us, we had that opportunity today. And I loved how our kids came out and fought for 40 minutes.
There were several big performances from the Hoosiers. Yarden Garzone led the way with 18 points. Shay Chesky had 17 points and 4 assists. Chloe Moore McNeil finished with 13 points and 5 assists. Sydney Parrish contributed 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. 4 of the 5 starters had at least 4 assists. And Lexus Bargesser came off the bench to contribute 9 points and 4 rebounds in 20 minutes. In the second game on Friday, Michigan beat Washington 66-58 by outscoring the Huskies 23-13 in the third quarter. On the other side of the bracket, Iowa and Nebraska advanced. The Hawkeyes also had a crucial quarter in the win, outscoring Michigan State 20-9 in the second quarter. And Illinois fell to Nebraska despite 19 points and 6 rebounds from former Northwestern star Kendall Bostic. The Illini led 66-59 heading into the fourth quarter. Also on Thursday, Indiana Wesleyan swept a split doubleheader against Calumet and Olivet Nazarene. The Wildcats beat Calumet 13-2 in the opener behind 4 RBIs apiece from junior Morgan Yeater and senior Sadie Harding from Western High School. Abby Harvey, a senior from Noblesville, was 3 for 4 with a double and a triple and scored twice. In Game 2, IWU overcame an early 2-0 deficit when Briley Bilger cleared the bases with a double in the bottom of the first. Junior Jordan Bell improved to 4-0 on the season with the win. The Wildcats will face Michigan Dearborn at 10 a.m. and Florida National at 12:15, and another split doubleheader Friday in Melbourne, Florida. All right, now we get to Friday, and we look at all of the local sectional semifinals. In 4A at Muncie Central, it'll be number 5 Anderson against number 16 Mount Vernon. Of course, Mount Vernon handed Anderson one of its 2 losses this season. Then at second-ranked Greenfield Central against Muncie Central, Greenfield handled the Bearcats the first time around. In 3A at Belmont, it'll be Marion and Heritage following New Haven versus Norwell. Marion and New Haven are big favorites in those two. At Logansport, Peru will face Logansport in the opener. Then Northwestern versus Maconaquah. And in 3A at Delta, it's rivals Delta and Yorktown, followed by the host Trojans against Connorsville. In Class 2A at Frankton, 17-6 Tipton takes on 16-5 Sheridan. And then it's 18-5 Lapel against 16-8 Frankton. Lapel and Frankton have both won 12 games in a row. At Blackford, it's number 1 Wapahani, the Mideastern Conference champion, against 14-9 Blackford, the CIC champion. Before 11-12, Madison Grant takes on rival Alexandria. The Tigers are 7-16. Of course, those two schools are huge rivals and have great basketball traditions. And in 2A at Wabash, it's number 4 Manchester. They'll be a huge favorite against rival Rochester. And Oak Hill will also be a huge favorite against Lewis Cass. In Class A at Broad Ripple, it's Liberty Christian and Anderson Prep hoping to advance to the championship game. First, Liberty faces Tinley, then Anderson Prep versus International. They are both pretty big favorites in those games. And to Southwood, it'll be Cowan versus Northfield in Game 1 and Daleville versus Westdale in Game 2 in a wide open sectional. Also Friday, a big Big Ten showdown as 21-9 Purdue goes to 19-11 Illinois. That game's at 8 o'clock on Fox. Both teams have won their last 2 games, including Illinois' 93-73 blowout win at Michigan. It's the regular season finale for both teams. Also, the regular season finale for Ball State, which is 14-16 and has lost 3 in a row, as they go to Miami. Miami's 22-8. They've won 3 of their last 4. They will finish second to Akron in the MAC either way. Miami looks like a team that could win the conference tournament. And at the Big Ten Women's Tournament at the Fieldhouse, get day 3, and it starts with IU against USC at noon. You should be able to catch the end if you're listening to this right now, and you are. Pause this podcast and go watch it. Then it's number 15 Maryland against Michigan. Then at 6:30, number 4 UCLA takes on Nebraska, and the evening ends with number 13 Ohio State against Iowa. Should be a great day of basketball. We hope to get Michelle Garman's reaction to the IU USC game early this afternoon. In local college baseball, Ball State is at home against Western Michigan in its MAC opener. IU is at Penn State in its Big Ten opener. Purdue is at Minnesota in its Big Ten opener. Taylor hosts Huntington, and Indiana Wesleyan host Bethel. Both of those are doubleheaders. And in softball, along with Indiana Wesleyan's split doubleheader, IU softball will host IU Indy and Bowling Green in a split doubleheader. And 7-1 Taylor goes to Grand Park in Westfield to take on IU South Bend in a doubleheader. Ball State softball also has a split doubleheader against Bellarmine and Stonehill. And in men's volleyball, Loyola is at Ball State. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. Thank you so much for listening. And if you are interested in seeing the Central Indiana Sports Report grow and thrive, please do us a huge favor and share this with your friends and family. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.